A man suspected of murdering and dismembering his wife in mid-Michigan has been shot and killed by Michigan State Police in Detroit.
The whole story starting over the weekend in Burton. Late last night, the suspect was shot and killed by troopers who were trying to arrest him on Telegraph Road, just north of 7 Mile on the city's west side.
And our Carolyn Clifford joins us now with how this investigation ended up dozens of miles away in Metro Detroit.
I just know it sounds quite crazy if you think about it. Mike and Glenda, like you said, this all started in Burton, which is just outside of Flint, on Saturday night. We do have to warn you, the details of this case are quite disturbing. Police were called to Kings Lane Apartments on the report that the body of a woman was inside one of the units. When officers arrived, they found garbage bags with human body parts inside the bathtub. Police say 44-year-old Tony Roy had killed his wife, Shauna, dismembered her body, and left the remains in the apartment. Burton police issued a warrant for Roy's arrest on Monday. Just hours later, Michigan State Police tried to arrest him in Detroit near the intersection of Telegraph and 7 Mile. He was driving with a woman he knew. When he stopped the car, troopers saw him pointing a gun at himself and then at the woman in the passenger seat. When he pointed the gun at that woman again, troopers opened fire. Roy was pronounced dead on the scene. The woman he was with suffered minor injuries from glass fragments. The shooting is now under investigation by Detroit police and will be turned over to the prosecutor's office for review. But certainly, like we said, quite disturbing and just, I mean, crazy to think that a woman was cut up and then left in a bathtub in an apartment.
Yeah, by her own husband.
Yeah, frightening.
Just horrific details.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Burton, Michigan. A Burton man who was accused of unaliving and dismembering his wife was shot and unalived by police. The Burton Police Department responded to Kings Lane Apartments for a welfare check about 7:20 p.m. Saturday. Police was given information that a woman was unalived inside the apartment, Burton Police Chief Brian Ross said. Upon arrival, officers found garbage bags that contained human body parts inside the bathtub of the apartment, Ross said. After an investigation, police determined 44-year-old Tony Roy unalived his wife, 41-year-old Shauna Roy, and then dismembered her body. Ross said, adding, Tony Roy placed her body parts in the garbage bags and left them in the apartment. An arrest warrant was issued for Tony Roy on Monday. Michigan State Police attempted to arrest Tony Roy in Detroit on that warrant during a traffic stop at 11:40 p.m. Monday, but he met officers with a firearm, Ross said. Michigan State Police said Tony Roy pointed the gun at himself and then at a female passenger who was in the car with him. As he pointed the gun toward the passenger, he was shot by multiple troopers, the police said. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. The passenger suffered minor injuries from glass fragments, authorities said. The officer-involved shooting is being investigated by the Detroit Police Department. Alright, so what's up, man? Y'all know y'all in here with Solo the God, man. We back here with another video, man. Y'all make sure y'all smash that subscribe button, hit that like. And so y'all can, stay tuned with me, man. It's kind of a sad video, man. I'm pretty sure it's probably out there already. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a while ago. But see, the thing is, I got kind of another little extra ending to it, I guess you might add. And it's just as sad, man. But as y'all can see, man, this story of Tony Roy Jr. and Shauna Roy, he unalived her and basically chopped her body up and left her in an apartment building in bags, man, which is outrageous. I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely outrageous. For whatever reason, it can never be reason for nothing like that. But I'm not here to insult the dead or anything like that. I'm definitely not gonna do that. But it is a lot of theories, and I seen it's another video on another channel when it was talking about he had to live in a double life, and I heard a couple, rumors as well, but that's not for me to speak on. It's neither here nor there. Now, rest in peace to everybody who lost their life, and I'm sorry for everybody loved ones, man. Condolences, man. But to get into to what I got from the situation and how I came in contact with the story itself. I didn't come in contact with it from the news or the internet. I was actually incarcerated when it happened, and when I heard about the story. I just so happened to be incarcerated with Tony Roy Sr. Tony Roy Sr. was doing 20 years in prison for unaliving one of his friends after they left the dice game. I mean, I think it was a dice game or card game, something like that. Somewhere they was gambling at, you know. He told me they was gambling at, and they went back to his house, him and a couple of them, and they ended up getting into an argument, altercation, and he ended up grabbing a knife and unaliving his friend. You know, you see what I'm saying? And he was doing a 20-year bid. So by the time I met Tony Roy Sr., he was actually supposed to be going home that year. I was incarcerated in 2023. I met Tony Roy Sr. I was incarcerated in February. I met Tony Roy Sr. and in the end of 2023, which is September. So, no, he was supposed to go home the following, he was supposed to go home the following year. He was supposed to go home in 2024 in September, as a matter of fact. So anyway, I ended up meeting him in September 2023, but they moved us to the same unit in the same cube. We had 8-man cubes. Everybody that been to Parnell up on the in the pole barns know what I'm talking about. Got 8-man cubes up there, and we ended up in the same cube around March of 24. Now, he was supposed to come home, like I said, and long story short, it didn't work out like that, man. He ended up catching a flop because, like I said, he did 20 years. So anybody know you do 20 years, man, it's going to be a lot to come with that, man. It don't matter how you try to keep your nose clean, your hands out of things. It's something going to happen, man. Prison going to be prison, man. And it ain't even, like I said, the place ain't as much of a problem as the people. But anyway, back on the topic, man. He didn't end up coming home. He ended up catching a flop, and the flop is when they give you usually another year. In Michigan, they give usually another year, but they will hit you with more. But anyway, he got another year of flop around. You see the parole board 4 months before that. You know what I'm saying? Before you go, before you're supposed to go home. So what's that? August? What's that? June, July, August, September. Yeah. So he probably synced him. I think it was beginning of June. He synced him. They turned him down. They gave him a flop. He got another year. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I was in the queue with him, man. It hit him hard, man. It definitely hit him hard. You know what I'm saying? And we had got cool for a while. You know what I'm saying? He was one of those stuck in his ways, older guys. So you don't really want to deal with him too much. But he was a cool cat, man. So we would kick it in the queue every now and then, man. He ended up pulling out his pictures, you know what I'm saying, and everything, and showing me pictures of his son, which is Tony Roy Jr. So he showed me pictures of his son, and you know what I'm saying, he was telling me about how he had a lot going on at one point in time. So I'm, man, what happened? You know what I'm saying? He gone. That's when he tell me the story. He said, man, the police took him out. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, he embellished the story a little bit. I'm going to be real about that, but that's his son, so as he should. But he definitely said, though, that he said he wasn't going back alive, and you know, they was going to have to take him out, and that's ended up what happened. Now, crazy part about the story, he didn't know why he unalived his wife or nothing like that either, or none of that. Now, later on, like I say, it's other guys from Flint, because all this, they all from Flint. This Tony Roy right here, this Tony Roy Sr., the one I know. Now, like I say, they all from Flint. So the other guys from Flint was telling me what really happened and why they felt like it happened. And like you said, it was all leading toward that double life stuff. That's all I'm going to speak on. But I'm not sure how true that is, and I don't really know the guy. But like I say, Tony Roy Sr. told me, though, one day, that, his son, he talked to his son right before he was, you know what I'm saying, unalived by the police. And he said, like, he had all these plans for his dad because he was getting money. So he had these plans of buying him a truck and all of that. And he was like, a couple days before he got unalived, I guess after he did that to his wife, he talked to his dad on the phone, you know, on the jail call. He told him, Pops, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make them promises. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to get the trucks. Tony Roy Sr. like, wow, what's going on? He like, man, ain't much he can say over the phone, but you gonna hear about it, man. And it just, when he told me that, the way he said it, man, it broke him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. You could hear the pain in his voice when he was telling me, you know what I'm saying? And this one of my old cats that he was, like they say, state raised. Like, this ain't his first time doing no long bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? As y'all can see from his record, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't new to this, and it ain't, not saying that prison makes you hard or tough or nothing like that, but you definitely become something different. You will become something different, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how you carry it in there. But he was a strong-willed older dude, you know what I'm saying? And you could just hear that it broke him, man. I'm like, you know, damn, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, that's his only son. You know, that was his last piece of family. For he had been in prison so long, that's his last piece of family, really. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, nah, he really didn't have no plans. Nah, he was affiliated with one of those groups, I'd say. So, you know, them is the brothers he would have probably leaned on, but other than that, he ain't had no actual family left. You know what I'm saying? And when he reached out, and that's what his son told him, man, it broke him. You know what I'm saying? And this was prior to me meeting him, but he told me this. Like I say, we ended up in the same unit around March. He told me this. You know what I'm saying? This is just crazy, man. You know, like, I don't know. It's just crazy out here. Yeah, it's like, could you imagine just you already doing all this time, and then now your son got older, and he ought to made all these plans. I guess he done came up a little bit in life after he went through whatever he went through, because as you say, he had a record too, you know, but I guess he came up in life, whatever. He talking about, like, he was telling me his dad was a truck driver, like Tony Sr. was a truck driver. He drove for, what did he say he drove for? I can't remember. He said he drove for a couple, but I think Chrysler was one of them. But anyway, he was a truck driver, so he said he was planning on, he said his son was going to buy him a truck, you know what I'm saying, and get him on the feet, man. And I'd just be sitting there talking to him. The man will watch, like, shows about dogs all day. He'd sit there and watch shows about dogs. And he just couldn't wait to get out, get him a dog, and get on the road, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, this is another sad ending to it, because he ain't making home, man. They gave him that year flopped, and that turned out to be a life sentence. Because I came home in February of 25. He would have came home in September of 25, you know, had he made it home. But I got word that he had a heart attack, man, April 21st of 2025, and he didn't make it, man. He passed. So, you know, it's just crazy, man. I just feel like I feel like the whole story is tragic, man. That's 2 generations, man, of incarceration and pain, man, that, you know, we don't know what that man was going through. Like I say, I'm not going to salt his name. I don't know what he was going through, what he had going on. I don't know what none of them did, but you got to think that's 2 generations, including this beautiful young queen that lost their life, man. So like I say, rest in peace to everybody that, you know, lost their life in this situation, man, and my condolences to all the family members. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I knew Tony Roy Sr. personally, man. He wasn't a bad guy, man. He just, you know, being a product of your environment is a real thing. Like, you can really be something that you don't want to, or better yet, should I say, the choices that we make can force us to become something that we might not have wanted to become. But once you're there, it's like you're there. There's nothing you can do. You got to live with those choices. Every choice you make has a consequence. And all these choices matter, man, from the beginning to the end. So y'all just, man, keep your head up. Stay focused and make good choices, man. I'm up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all smash that like button, man. Subscribe, man, so y'all can stay tuned with me. I'm going to keep on dropping videos, so y'all keep on watching. All right. Peace.